Floor Brouwer. I'm affiliated to United Nations University Flores, an institute part of United Nations University, where we study the resource nexus. And maybe to come to an important topic for research, which always is a challenge, and we adopt the theory of change, where in research you have an output, an outcome and an impact. And on the output, it could be a scientific paper. And I think in the nexus, we are always challenged about the linking up to policy support. And even scientific publications are essential to give trust and confidence by policymakers that the research is reviewed, peer-reviewed by competent researchers, so it could be trusted by the scientific community, and it could be debated among the scientific community, and it could be considered for further debate on policy. So that we often ignore the relevance of scientific publications as an outcome as an output of research. Then there is the traditional international research where you develop deliverables, a kind of what you deliver and write down what you have done. That is the output of the research, which I think is an essential part to come to outcome. And that is the kind of interaction with the policymakers, because sometimes people from research are frustrated that deliverables are hardly read by the policy community and practice, but it's essential to write down what you have done, to be open for a discussion with the scientific community. But that output is starting to be the outcome when you start presenting it and start a discussion with policymakers about your findings of research. So both the output and the outcome are essential for being an entry point to speak to policymakers. But at the end of the day, there is of course a higher expectation, not only by researchers, but an expectation by the client, be it the policymakers, be it a farmers organization, be it an energy company, to start a discussion. And that could be in multiple ways. It could be by a presentation, it could be by organizing a further debate and starting exploring policy options, starting to discuss what could be done, and then start the real debate. But in order to reach that, you need confidence by the client, by the policymakers, in the work that has been done. It might not be all appreciated by the client and policymakers, but at least it is a basis for discussion. And that kind of interaction is essential for the research community to eventually come to better decision making. You need to start early on in the project to start interaction. Because if it is complex work, it will take a while for people from practice to understand. They don't need to understand everything, but you need to work together to guide each other. Is this really what a practitioner would like to see? Is this really what the research community could deliver? And that kind of interaction should start early on in the project. And hopefully you'll find people from practice who are willing to invest time into that. And that kind of process should start early on in the project and continue throughout the day. And that is a challenge for projects, of course. A project for 4 years is different from a project of 3 months.